Hello, my name is Taylor Stewart, and I'm the Executive Director of the Oregon Remembrance Project. I help communities with truth and reconciliation projects around repairing historical injustice. We connect historical racism to its present-day legacies in order to inspire contemporary racial justice action. My entry into this work began with the question, how do you reconcile a lynching? Brian Stevenson, Executive Director of the Equal Justice Initiative, says, quote, "We cannot heal the deep wounds inflicted during the era of racial terrorism until we tell the truth about it." So today, I am here to tell you that truth. Following the end of the Civil War, a wave of counter-revolutionary terror swept over the former Confederate States in a manner unparalleled to that of any other Western Hemisphere society that abolished slavery during the 18th or 19th centuries. This terror came in the form of lynching, a tool of violence to re-subjugate the African American population following emancipation. Thousands of men, women, and children were the victims of racial terror lynchings, and millions more bear the weight of generational trauma inflicted on the entire African American community. African Americans were lynched for things like violating social customs, resisting mistreatment, or for alleged crimes when even little evidence tied the accused to the crime. White people accused of identical violation of law or custom were rarely subjected to this same fate. Lynching in the United States increasingly became a tool of racial oppression over the African American community, and it amplified the hardships of ongoing exploitation, discrimination, and criminalization in Black communities. Lynching was not the work of a few hooded vigilantes at night. Whole communities participated in the ritualistic killing of African Americans. Minstrel shows, racial science, and the racist chromolithography of the Jim Crow era embedded in the mind of white America the presumption of guilt on African Americans due to their perceived moral inferiority. Some mobs would specifically harness this terror by conducting their lynchings within the Black part of town, and many other times forcing Black people to witness these killings to instill fear in the whole Black community. However, it wasn't just accusations of a crime that resulted in lynching. Violating the rules of the social order also had fatal consequences. There was a saying at the time that, quote, "What the law cannot do, the noose can." African Americans were lynched for things like speaking disrespectfully to a white person, refusing to step off the sidewalk, reprimanding white children, arguing with a white man, and other perceived social infractions. African Americans had to live with the constant knowledge that they could be lynched, whether they intentionally or unintentionally violated social norms. Any African American who resisted this mistreatment or espoused Black advancement beyond the confines of the Jim Crow era were often subject to their own lynching for simply asserting their own humanity. Lynching became a tool to keep African Americans in a state of subjugation and repress African Americans' fight for economic power and equal rights during the 19th and 20th centuries. It was lynching, more than any other force, that enforced the social stratification of the Jim Crow era. Unfortunately, lynching was not confined to the former Confederate States. As African Americans fled the South as refugees from violence, lynching migrated to the North and West as well. Hundreds of African Americans were lynched outside of the South, including in our home state of Oregon. Most infamously, An African-American man named Alonzo Tucker was lynched in Coos Bay, Oregon in 1902. He was 28, married, a boxer from California, and today I am here to tell you his story.